What's up, guys? Welcome back for another episode of the GhettoRig podcast. We got episode 170, another one in the books. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. To my left, you have my co-host Jay. Behind the cameras, we got everything under control by Mr. Miggy. And let's get started today.
There's so many cameras in here that I don't even know where to look, dude.
I was just doing the same thing. I was like, center,
I
it's
was
like
looking over here, and I was like, oh shit, this is my camera. Hold on.
It fucks with you. It fucks with you for sure. Like just having this other camera this way instead of looking over here it messes with me now. I swear to God. Before we get into it, let's get our official sponsors talked about. UFC Gym Largo and Pinellas Park, and then we have Vitality Wellness Center on Park Street and 4th Street in St. Petersburg.
We can
go check those things out.
What's can technically say that St. Pete is an official sponsor.
What do you mean?
Because in the beginning we had to like dump a bunch of money in it, in a computer and stuff like that. So it's technically a sponsor.
I mean, it all is a sponsor. Ozzy's giving us a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So technically.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're gonna get into it, guys. I think what we're gonna talk about today is Jay just came back from a trip from New Orleans.
But before
Tuesday,
before we talk about that, I want to give you guys an update on a St. Pete location.
How's that looking?
Yeah, it's looking good. That side room where the pre-sale is gonna happen from, walls are painted. It's actually super. It looks really nice. That room looks really nice.
What's
Crown
left to be
molding
ready?
and stuff. The floor, we're just gonna do epoxy there on the floor for right now.
Yeah, they'll eventually do something with that.
They have to cap
or whatever.
They have to cap the water, and then they're just gonna do epoxy, and call it a day, and then just set up the tables and everything. So that's gonna be ready to go, that room, and then they'll start working on the rest of the stuff,
right.
slowly. But
right, yeah, because we gotta do the pre-sale in there. I'm hoping by next week maybe we start in there. What do you think? Will the room be ready by next week, you think?
Well, we had the fire people to shorten the sprinkler system.
Right.
They said, we'll send the quote out and everything. We can get it done over the weekend. So meaning like they can get it all done and squared away, which means at that point, the floor can go in, even though they cover it. He said it's better if you don't do the floor before. So by the weekend, maybe not next week, but week after, I think should be good to go.
Yeah, let's get it done. I'm excited to start over there. So St. Pete's almost ready, guys. This construction in the Pinellas Park / St. Petersburg, we're going to say both because, we're all messed up in minds. That location will not need as much preparation as the Largo location. So hopefully no delays or anything like that. There has been with Largo. Largo wasn't too bad. It's about a month of delay.
Yeah.
I
don't think this one will get a delay at all. Yeah, because the only thing that needs to be redone is the bathrooms, and then just knock down a couple of things on the top.
There is only one reason I'd see it would be delayed off. And this is a very unlikely reason if we can't hit that member count before opening. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Not because of building preparation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
talk to us about New Orleans, bro.
How'd that go? New Orleans, I've been to New Orleans before. New Orleans is a fun city. I've gone there on my work trip. I met with a friend of mine because I knew they were going out and I had that trip already booked. She said that she's going there to celebrate her birthday. I was like, don't worry about it. I can book a trip to New Orleans. So I booked the trip. Just let me know when you're going to be, what weekends you're going to be there. So I scheduled that for that weekend. And I went there on Sunday. So when I arrived to New Orleans, that was like the Saints.
This is your other trip you're talking about.
This was the very first time I went to New Orleans. Saints were having a game. So I went on a Saints game and the city was brewing. It was popping, right? So I spent the morning and afternoon there. And then that was a Sunday. I had to drive to my location in Baton Rouge, which is about an hour away. I did my work, and then I had to come back to New Orleans for a couple other locations left in New Orleans, which was later down the week, right? And when I came back later in the week, I stayed at the hotel, which is away from the city. And during that time, it was pretty empty, right? It was winterish time, so I remember I had to wear a jacket. During the day, it was hotter, but at night, where I could, walk around with shorts and t-shirt, but at night, I had to wear a jacket, I remember. So the experience back then wasn't too bad. It was just very quiet. I didn't get to notice the craziness of New Orleans, which I did over this weekend. So the drive was supposed to take about 10 and a half hours. It was about 11 and a half hours. Why? Because famous Buc-ee's. We stopped at Buc-ee's. That place is like Disneyland for rednecks. I mean, they got everything from fishing, camping gear, all the way to glasses, to like nice like Oakley and Ray-Bans, all the way to beef jerky. They make their own beef jerky, although it's expensive as shit, $30 a pound.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but the beef jerky is pretty good. They have their own beef jerky. They have their own food area. They do barbecue. You can buy like a pound of brisket chopped was $30.
Fuck.
Yeah, pretty expensive. And then, you know, sodas, clearly, chips, all that shit as well. And then they have a separate section for just irregular clothes. Because it's close to the beach, they had a lot of beach stuff on there. So apparently the biggest one right now is in Dallas, and it's 70,000 square feet.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but they're bringing one to Okeechobee, and it's going to be the biggest one in the United States.
Oh my god.
So it's going to be bigger than 70,000 square feet. And this one was the size of the... It was actually... This was close to probably 30 or 40,000 square feet. This thing was big. Yeah, so they had... Like, you know...
Bigger than the gym?
Bigger than the gym, yeah.
Than the Largo one?
It seemed that way. Bigger than the gym. It seemed bigger than the gym.
That's 25,000 there.
Yeah. It seemed bigger than the gym.
Okay.
That's why I said 30, you know. So what the funny part was, you know how you go to like a very big Wawa gas station, and you have like these long row of gas fill up areas, pumps. So take that, multiply that by 2, add another row in front of it, and 2 more on a side.
That's how many rows.
That's how many rows of gas station. Like, people were parking across the street because that's how busy this was. They had a full parking lot across the street because the parking lot on a land on a property wasn't enough for it. But they have a bunch of shit. I mean, they have expensive stuff and they have cheap stuff. So for example, this hat I bought, it was $30 for this hat. However, this is, they're saying it's sweatproof and waterproof, which I needed, otherwise my hats go to shit, right? So I bought this and it was $30. Now, would I have spent it $30? Because they had regular hats there too that were, you know, also $30. I wouldn't have never bought that. Hey Felix, what's up, buddy? But anyway, they had everything there. So we stopped there, got, you know, whatever you want to call it, lunch, whatever, because I've initially packed some breakfast sandwiches, so we stopped at this gas station halfway through, ate the breakfast, and then as we were driving...
Do they have like a restaurant or like a cafe within Buc-ee's that they make fresh food or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like a
So
Wawa kind of setup?
where you buying the pulled pork, you can get the sandwiches, pulled pork sandwiches, brisket, whatever.
Right,
it's
right.
like
You
a
didn't
grab
mention
and
that
go.
they have brisket and pulled pork and stuff.
Yeah, it's a grab and go, you know.
Okay.
So once they do bring that in Okeechobee, I say we take a road trip because that thing is gonna be like, it's...
How far is Okeechobee from here?
Hour and a half or so.
I don't
It's
know
like
if I do that just
mid-Florida.
for a Buc-ee's.
It's you have to see it. You have to see it. So
2.5 hours? Nah, I'm good, Jay.
is it Okeechobee?
I'm good,
It's
Jay.
either go ahead, Google it. Is it? I don't know if it's Okeechobee. Go Google it.
New Buc-ee's coming to Florida.
Biggest Buc-ee's coming to Florida. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So it's gonna give us exactly where it's going.
Ocala.
There
So
we go.
that's still 2 hours.
2 hours drive. Yep. Yeah. So go back up. How big is it gonna be?
80,000.
80,000 square feet. That's gonna be huge. That's gonna be. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Pull up a picture, like an aerial shot, so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Go to the other one. Can you pull up the one? Can you go to Google Maps and then pull up the one in yeah, just do Buc-ee's on maps, and it was in Florida on I-10. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead and zoom that shit in. Yeah, there you go. That one right there. I-10. Go to the right. I mean left.
I was about to say.
There you go. That one right there. That's the one. Yeah. So if you can pull up an aerial shot of that, I don't know. Yeah. So is there an aerial shot of it? Anyway. Well, Bingy's looking for that. So they have the entire section dedicated just to Buc-ee's merchandise. So that they have that
You
as
said
well.
they had a fishing section?
Yeah, they're like fishing gear, not fishing poles, but fishing and camping gear. They had a couple of fishing poles, but there was more for children.
Okay.
Anything. So go back up to the gas pumps. So look at the gas pumps, like that picture.
Click on it, maybe.
Yeah. So do you see how
Oh yeah, how many
many?
pumps
And
there
there
is? Yeah.
and there are two of those. Like there was one, and then in front of it was another one, and two of those was on the backside as well.
Oh shit! So this isn't the only grouping of pumps they have.
Correct. So they had four groupings just like this.
Got you.
Yeah. So it was something interesting to see. You know, it's definitely a redneck paradise. I don't have any other words I would describe that. From like, you know, from sugar crusted pecan and almond nuts all the way to, um, what does he say?
There's a strip club inside.
Is there a strip club inside? I'm sure the one that's 80,000 feet, maybe. California girls. I want to tell the story. Yeah. Uh, so what you know, and then we arrive at New Orleans. We got there pretty early, so we, you know, went into the room right away showered, whatever. Was like, let's go out, you know, walk around. So Mauricio wanted to see this old bar, right? Where pirates used to come in back in the day, right? This is from 1770s or something like that. That bar is there and exists, like same building. Um, so as we're walking around, we stopped, got some lunch. You know, it was like a seafood platter, but it wasn't what I expected it to be at first. It was all fried, right? Like fish, oysters, you know, unit shrimp, things like that. It was just fried bites, gator bites.
I heard you were looking for crawfish and they didn't have
What?
crawfish.
Yeah, crawfish was out of season,
Yeah.
so they're not allowed apparently to sell crawfish because it's out of season. They'll
Well, I
have
think
the
that I don't
frozen.
think it's that it's allowed. I think that they do have their seasons because I have followed this guy and they actually have like these ponds that they fill up with water themselves and have the crawfish hatch and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then they dry them out on purpose. The reason they dry them out on purpose is because so other wildlife doesn't start to grow in there because like
Oh.
they'll get fish that will start to grow in those ponds and stuff like that.
Oh, I see what you said. Yeah, so I mean, they're still selling crawfish, but it was frozen crawfish, like in a mac and cheese or like a little tail here, a little there. But those tails were extremely small. So
Well,
apparently,
crawfish's tails they're always extremely
yeah, they
small
were saying if
anyways.
you
I feel
want the
like.
biggest crawfish, you gotta go during the season, which is right around month of March. That's when the largest amount. So we walked around the first day, and it just so happened it used to be there was Southern decadence running throughout the city. And I don't know what Southern Decadence is. Come to find out, it's the actual gay parade. New Orleans' last big bash. I've never seen that many fucking dicks in my entire life in one place.
They just swinging.
Just swinging, bro.
They didn't give a fuck.
No, zero fucks were given. Zero fucks were given. I mean, you know how see things like furries and things like that? Yeah, like you saw all of it. You saw all of it, absolutely all of it on the streets.
That's funny.
Everybody's kind of cool. I think that was the first time in my life I kind of like felt what girls might feel when they're looking at you as a piece of meat. You know what I mean? As you walk down the road. So that was kind of an interesting experience. Definitely gave a different vibe. So I mean, you can pull up probably some pictures. They're probably gonna be PG, but do Southern Decadence 2024 New Orleans.
You just see Jay in the background. Hey.
Yeah, with the suspenders and nothing else, you know.
My name's Borat.
Yeah. So it was interesting. It was a very interesting vibe, you know, and what was funny to me, it's just like,
Go to images to see what the festival looks like.
yeah, yeah, pull up.
Okay.
Yeah, pull up. There you go. We missed that parade. We're out gallivanting around, so
Look,
we missed
Jay's
that
right
parade.
there.
Stupid.
He's in the part that's cropped out of the photo.
Stupid. Yeah, so so there are a couple of things that I found extremely funny, right? Number one, the
You guys went this weekend on purpose.
Yeah.
You guys went there this weekend on purpose.
The
huh?
ratio of dudes versus like gay dudes versus gay women
Mhm.
was, I would want to say, not to exaggerate, I would want to say 300 gay dude couples and about one female gay couple. Like there were dudes who definitely were it, right? And then another thing was that kind of surprised me is the city, right? Now, this is an anecdotal, my own opinion type of deal. It's a liberal city with a liberal government, and a city City was decrepit, looked like shit. A lot of that happened after Katrina. So when we're driving in a
That's
car,
a long time ago, though, right?
yeah, when we're driving in a car, the Uber driver was telling us the story. So I guess they have these boroughs, right? Parishes, basically. And it just so happened they had to blow something up to relieve the pressure from the river so it doesn't flood the rich neighborhoods. So part of the city is 15 feet under the water, another part of the city is like 30 feet above the water.
Okay.
So the part that was 15 feet below the water will completely got fucking flooded. Like it got destroyed. And a lot of those buildings that were in that area, due to mold and mildew, were pretty much abandoned. There was a whole ass mall that was completely abandoned, right? So all that you see in blue was all like underwater, basically. See what I mean? So there, and you know, as you're approaching the city, you're coming from a north side. That's where the I-10 comes through. So you see all that. You see all that abandonment and stuff. Like I'm talking about like skyscraper type buildings, like 25, 30 floors, just completely abandoned. Where parking lot, the concrete and the asphalt is growing grass. You know, mall the same way with the mall, right? So, and if you bring it up a little bit, go down a little bit. See there, right? It says Garden District right there, where you, almost your
Yeah, I see it. Garden
that's
District
Lower
in the
Garden
center,
Street, the
yeah.
one next over, the one
To
to
the
the
left.
left.
Yeah, I know it. So we see
Yeah.
the area.
So the Garden District is where all the rich people live, right? And that area looked untouched. You could basically eat off the floor if you needed to, right? So what they did, they blew up this dam thing or whatever, not to flood
that area.
that area, right? And of course the French Quarter. Like French Quarter was basically untouched, right? Business District, French Quarter was basically untouched. So with that being said, the rest of the city outside northeast part of the city was all flooded, abandoned, dirty, roads broken, like potholes everywhere. You're driving with the car. As we were driving, this car flung a big ass rock and it hit the windshield and it cracked the windshield.
Your windshield?
Yeah,
Oh
it
shit!
cracked our windshield.
What car were you guys driving?
Mauricio's truck.
Oh, the Honda. Damn,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, it cracked the windshield right on a corner. And that spider vein, as we drove, kept getting bigger and bigger
yeah.
because of the
Bumps.
vibration and bumps and all that stuff, right? So we stayed in a business district, which was only like 2 blocks away from a Bourbon Street. So we're just like, we parked the car and then we just walk everywhere, right? The funny part was Bourbon Street itself is crazy. It's like Ybor City on steroids.
Is it like Las Vegas? Like when we went to Las Vegas, kind of like that strip, kind of like that many people.
It's that many people, but the strip itself, the road is a
lot smaller.
lot
like smaller.
Like you could not fit 2 trucks together. The mirrors would be touching.
I got you. So it's
See
a
what I
very
mean?
much
So
smaller
like
area.
building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Versus with Vegas, you could put 2 buildings in between those buildings because of how wide that road
Exactly.
was with that many
So
people.
imagine that amount of people
But in a
on that
smaller
little
environment.
tiny.
Yeah,
So it was like sardines. It's just like there were heads everywhere. Like if you had to walk around with your friends, otherwise if they get in a crowd, you lose.
You lost. Yeah.
You're done. Now it was just bar, like bar after bar after bar after snack place after bar, like that entire. And another funny part was it was just like a clear segregation of that Bourbon Street. In the first part of it, it was mixed crowd, right? Then the second part of it, second 30% was the black community. Then another next 30% was all the gay community. So it was just, to me, it was just kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like even like in 2024, we're still doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is it because like it's easier to hang out in that one location? So there's a lot of gay bars, let's say, are opening up in that specific location, or a lot of mixed bars are open on this specific location. I don't know if there's a difference in real estate property or whatever, but there was a segregation. There's a clear segregation of the French quarters themselves. The side streets, that's where you wanted to be, because French quarters is about what I want to say about 10 blocks, not 10 blocks, maybe less this way, and about 30 blocks this way. So side streets also had restaurants and bars and things like that. Now, the difference between the bars and on a side streets and the bars on Bourbon Street was like, the drink here would be like $12. On a side street it would be six. the food here would be X, on a side street would be Y, like cheaper. And the food was actually better on the side streets than it was on the main street,
Yeah.
right? So now the food, right? Since we brought that up, drinks were drinks just like everywhere else. Actually, in my opinion, I think they were stronger. You know, they would ask you if you want a double. I made a mistake the first night. I said, "Yeah, give me a double." Like that thing was like just straight up gasoline. Like I like stronger drinks, but
It's
like
like
I don't want gasoline.
it's like
you know?
that guy. You seen the video of the dude that's pouring a he's pouring Crown and Coke,
Yeah,
and he's pouring the shots, and as he pours the shot, he would dump the shot glass, but then keep the thing pouring, and then all right, 2 shots. All right, you want it for 3, and literally that cup. Say the cup was this big, it got filled up to about this way with alcohol, and then he put this much of Coke. And
that's exactly.
And someone said something, and he's like, I'm retiring soon. I don't pay for this shit anyways.
Yeah, that's literally how they were all pouring. That's exactly how they were all pouring those drinks. And then after that, I would go into the bar and be like, "Give me a fucking single and a tall," because I wanted to dilute some of that,
Yeah.
right? Because it was just not enjoyable to drink. Now they had Spanish clubs, which I kind of enjoyed the way it worked because clearly we were in there on Friday, but Saturday night it was more of a mix, like salsa, merengue, and a
Okay.
little bit of the Mexican
How many Hispanic?
corrido.
What's the Hispanic crowd like out there? Is
Big,
there a lot of Hispanics
big,
there?
big,
Okay,
big Hispanic
interesting. I didn't
population.
know that.
Big Hispanic population. There are 3 dedicated Hispanic nightclubs there, dedicated to Hispanic people, right? So that just gives you an idea that it's
Yeah.
a pretty big crowd. So the first night was all like salsa, merengue, and then a little bit of corrido, and then the next night was all bachata, dembow. You know, so they kind of like divided
Yeah.
the type of the music.
It divides the
reggaeton.
crowd too, from younger to older.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. But you know, there was no younger or older. It was all mixed. Like
Yeah.
you saw people from 60 years old that barely could walk with crutches all the way to barely 21, and all throughout the night, all the way up to 3 o'clock in the morning. City never really sleeps. Even at nighttime, they're 24/7 open food places, and they're all busy.
Really.
Right? And the funny part is the way this works is there will be a garbage can at this side of the table and another one right there. People would throw the trash right in the fucking middle. They wouldn't throw it in the garbage can, they would throw it on the ground. So what happens is these trash cars come in after the bars and everything closes. They'll get rid of the garbage cans first. Then you get the street cars come in and they brush it all off. And then you get the guys behind with pressure washers and they're pressure washing everything, right?
Really.
Yeah, but because they're not using soap, so it's all piss, vomit, food, alcohol all mixed together. And I didn't realize this until we were in an Uber car and the guy mentioned it, so I kind of paid a little more extra attention. The streets smell fucking bad. Like they smell bad. Like you'll walk and this whiff of urine will hit your nose. It's just fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting, right? Like everywhere you're walking, you have to watch because you might step in and vomit. You know what I mean? I did like a lot of bums, but I didn't see any needles or anything like that. So apparently the city is dying, right? And the tourists are what's keeping them afloat. And the cops have this rule out to everyone in Louisiana or anyone in New Orleans. If you fuck with a tourist, you're going away and you're going away forever, right? So nobody fucks with you.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because we're walking and Marissa's girl Jenna. I was like, "Did you notice that guy just offered me drugs?" And she's like, "No way, it's impossible." And then as the light subsided, as we're walking, another guy approaches us. "Hey, y'all good? You want some bud? You want some cocaine?" You know, just like randomly on the street, they're offering you drugs.
Yeah.
And you can after you notice that, you can clearly tell who's doing what, right, on the street. Because those guys would be just standing in one place in the middle, and they would just try to flag people to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back, trying to get their attention, right?
And so everyone standing around that dude was all coked up.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So that was that. And then now the food. Food was absolutely delicious. If I ever lived there, I would be fat as hell.
It was that
Fat-
good?
It was very well seasoned. Like it wasn't a white person spicy. It was actual, like you could tell that the African American culture has brought in a lot of flavor to the food, which in my opinion is extremely good. Like the
Right.
gumbos, the etouffes,
Yeah.
the dirty rice, the jambalayas, the fish, the seafood, it was really good. The steaks, they were all good, seasoned well. Now, with that being said, half of restaurants we went to were seasoned amazing as far as the spice and all the other flavors. The other half of restaurants we went, again, seasoned amazing spice and flavors, but the salt, Jesus fucking Christ, give you a damn heart attack.
That much salt on it?
Yeah, much salt on it, yeah. Other than that, we tried the beignets, which is their famous, if you can pull up, Cafe Du Monde. Yeah, so the Cafe Du Monde is very, very, go to images, very, very known for their beignets. And went to the original one. Yeah, click at the second picture or the first picture, either one.
That's their beignets right there.
Yeah. So this is Cafe Du Monde. As a matter of fact, we came through, like this picture that you're showing right now. This is where the line started and it went around the damn building.
Really?
Yeah. During the day, and the place was completely full, and everybody was getting beignets and coffee. So, what is a beignet? It's basically a smaller version of a funnel cake, and if you click on that, you'll see what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
So I was standing there in line, and I'm like, bro, this is too much of a long of a wait. We're in the sun. We're not in a cover, and it's burning. I was like, let me go inside, ask around. So I walk inside. I see this little Asian lady, and it's funny. Like everyone was Asian working that, as waiters. I was like, hey, listen, we're trying to get some to-go food. Where do I need to stand? She's like, oh, you got to stand right there. What do you try to buy? I was like, just one couple of beignets and a coffee. He's like, okay, you give me $10. I'll bring it to you right now. Okay, you got it, lady. You got it, lady. So I called Mauricio. I was like, all right, come around here, bring me $10. He brought the $10. He had the cash. Gave her the money. She gave it to us. We just walked out with 5 minutes. Done.
So that's the hack, guys. If you guys aren't trying to sit down, trying to do it to go, you go over there.
Yeah.
You just find one of the little chinitas that will help you out.
Now, if you like funnel cake, this is definitely one of the best funnel cakes I've had. I personally do not like funnel cake myself.
Funnel cake.
Yeah, because to me, it's like almost eating fried bread without flavor, and then if not that sugar, that would be even worse.
That's true.
Back home, what we had something similar, the dough and everything, but inside he had like white cream, like the creamy color cream, right? And that made, in my opinion, it a little bit better. Their food
I like
eating
funnel
experience.
Cake. And the only thing though is, for me, funnel cake, what happens is, you go to the festivals and they have funnel cake and they have for toppings. I don't like getting the toppings because it makes it too sweet for me.
Yeah, that could make it too sweet. I could see that. Yeah. So, and then everywhere you go there, everyone wants to tell you your fortune. There's 1,300 gypsy motherfuckers within 1 square foot of land, right? So we're walking by, they're all trying to flag you down, give you your fortune, tarot card reading, this and that, crystal balls and crystals and shit like that. So we're in the Uber. I was like, hey, man, so how long you been here? He's like, 30-some years, blah, blah, blah. I was like, do you believe in that? He goes, no, man, it's all bullshit. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, those motherfuckers can't even find that. They don't even have their own home or a bed. They're going to tell you your fortune. He goes, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny the way they said it. But the coolest part of the whole trip was we went to this little shop and they were selling shaved ice. The amount of flavors they had for shaved ice, it was insane. And they've been there for like 82 or 86 years selling only shaved ice. That's where basically, my understanding was that's where all the shave ice started from in the United States, because people go there, like it, open their own shave ice place.
I feel like that's something that's going to be older than 80 years old though.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but that shaved ice was badass because they make their own flavors. It was really, really good. It's one of the best shaved ice I've ever eaten. But the food itself, man, is amazing.
Did you guys do any fun activities, like to go do something tourist like besides just going to bars and eating and going out and doing?
So we did a lot of walking around.
Scoot up the thing a little bit. Scoot up.
No.
Oh. There you go.
We did a lot of walking around. As far as the touristy things to do, because the city is dying, there's not much of touristy shit to do. There was one where go on a cemetery tour, go to War Museum. Yeah, so the cemetery tour, can you pull it up here? Oh no, you can. Yeah, Miggy I won't talk about it when he comes back.
Actually, I might be able to.
So the another thing was to go on this hop on hop off bus, right? But we had their map on a hop on hop off bus. Yeah, just plug in New Orleans cemeteries and it's gonna give you an idea, right? There's a lot of famous people that are buried in these cemeteries, because you have to understand, jazz and blues music pretty much like originated in New Orleans, right? Like the biggest people.
You have to do it, man. Should I look up a New Orleans cemetery tour?
Yeah, biggest names were in New Orleans. as musicians, right? And like even their dueling piano guys were singing and playing. They were great. Like they were really good. They were doing cover songs and they sounded almost exactly as the artist that they're covering for, right? Um, yeah, so just kind of demonstrate that video on top that's going around. There you go.
You
So you're
said it
gonna
was
see
the blues and stuff like that. That
blues,
was
jazz more than anything. But see, this is a very French influenced type of cemetery with these type of these are the tombstones, right? Basically, nothing you've ever seen before,
yeah, it's very
right?
different.
It's extremely different. So they take you on these cemetery tours where they walk you around and tell you this famous person died here, this famous person is buried here, so on and so
Those
forth.
cemeteries remind me of the ones in Cuba. Just like very plain, but the concrete.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't see any cemeteries. I don't think, at least.
You don't want to see them. They look like shit.
yeah,
People steal off the stuff, like
yeah.
Yeah, they'll
all the shit that they leave.
leave.
Yeah, flowers, whatever the fuck you bring, they'll steal, and they'll resell it outside the fucking cemetery.
Yeah. So the thing was, it was so hot. I told Mauricio, I was like, listen, bro, we can do the cemetery tour, but it's a 1 hour cemetery tour in a scorching heat. Like,
That's
are we
not that
gonna,
bad. 1 hour.
bro? 90 degrees with the heat,
Yeah.
with the humidity, forget it. It was hot as hell. Now go ahead, plug in maybe just New Orleans buildings, or French Quarter. Just plug in New Orleans French Quarter. Yeah, and I kind of want to show you the buildings because these buildings, like that perfect picture right there. Pull up any of the images. Yeah, so this is a perfect description of what the French Quarters looks like, right? Like these balconies that just kind of wrap around. Like click on that building with the greenery. Yeah, that right there. Pretty much every building kind of looked like that as you walking around. They had the
That's pretty
flowers.
cool. Architecture looks cool.
It was really cool, very French influence, and this is dating back 1700. Like you would walk inside the buildings, and the columns. It wasn't just a regular column; they were very ornate with little leaves on top and the bottom. Like it was almost like, oh, you can't, like, we were joking around. It's like, when these people were building them, they were like, oh, look at this peasant. He just put a regular column. He didn't even put the little flowers and things. And it was crazy. So because these balconies are propped by like a column holding it up so it doesn't fall, so how do you defend that from thieves? And their security system was, they had this ring with like finger length spikes just on top, so you can't, like,
Yeah, if you try and climb up, yeah.
you get fucked up pretty much, right? That was their security system.
That reminds me, I noticed the other day we were at I'm at the UFC Gym Largo, and that's in a plaza, right? Along the entire top of the front of the building, I noticed, if you look, there's spikes all over the front of the building, on the signs, everything on the top. And I'm like, why is that there? And I started thinking about it. I think it's so
Birds.
things don't land there and start like nesting and shit on top of the building.
Well, they'll land and shit, right? So they're preventing the birds landing there and shitting right
Well,
down.
they're still gonna shit there, like flying over, but I think
Flying
it's just
over, yeah.
so they don't land, things don't die right there on the front of the building.
Yeah.
The nests don't get built.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the city was really, especially French Quarter, was really pretty. And then if you go to Garden District, these homes are really, really pretty.
Yeah.
But we stayed in a business district. In a business district, you have more of a skyscraper situation going on. And it just so happened our building had a penthouse, which had a pool on top. And it was 16th floor or 17th floor. And you could pretty much see the entire city, right? Like, these are typical homes, right? These are typical homes in New Orleans. Like, that's like a typical home in a Garden District, right? So as you can see, these are like old homes that have been kind of redone. So my understanding is they cannot knock these down and rebuild because of the historic value. So they're just rebuilt, like reconstruct them. Yeah. So this was really cool.
What's the most fun thing you did?
Okay, so we had the hop on hop off bus map. So we just kind of did that on our own with the car, basically. And then another tour they had was a plantation tour. They could have gone, but that was an hour away from the city, and we're like, no, we're not doing all that, we're not going to drive around. But the funnest thing was just to experience and immerse yourself within the city life, right? Because we went off, French Quarters had a lot of tourists, but we went off of the beaten path and went on their Market Street, and also Saint something or another, St. Charles Street. Those are the two streets that they have, and those streets are all laced with restaurants and bars as well, where the locals go, right? And one of the best dinners we've had was this Vietnamese place, and it was the last night. And it was one of the best Vietnamese foods, like best
What'd you
Vietnamese
get?
restaurants. I've had a bowl of pho with some egg rolls and stuff like that, and it was really really good. But then Jenna, I think, got chicken dish. We tried anyway. We tried some other food, here and there from with each other. You know what I mean? But that was really really good. Um, and then you definitely walk around a lot. You definitely walk around a
Yeah, I
lot.
can see that. I can see that in a city like that,
Yeah,
especially with those roads that small. I'm sure the traffic
yeah.
is horrible, right? Going through there, going through some of those places, the traffic must be
No, it
horrible.
wasn't bad because if you pull up that tram right there, Miggy, the third picture,
It's already up.
yeah, on the right, yeah, there you go. That right there, this
Hmm.
tram and trolley system is very accessible, right? And it's extremely cheap.
This is what they
And
use.
all the roads look like this. You see how these trees kind of like combine with each other?
Yeah.
It's super cool as you're driving down these streets. It looks really, really pretty, right? Like underneath the trees. So you can take the tram everywhere, right? Pretty much
Okay.
going around the city. So were there cars there? Yes. Was the traffic too crazy? No. Um, is there a lot of industry there? I didn't see any. Majority of the big buildings we saw were hospitals. They were in like building. You know how you have a building with a sign on it, like this is this corporation or that corporation. No, like I think majority of it is the port and the river work, and within a city like maintenance work. Other than that, I don't see what else people do there, right? The city is in a very, very, very bad shape. Majority of the city is in a bad shape. And me being there, like, how I always kind of try to see opportunity in everything. I saw a bunch of opportunity in areas where, like, empty lots, you could build something, this and that.
I
Like,
feel like the only thing is if that's been their issue for so long, there's a reason why people aren't
correct.
fixing it,
That and
right?
that there's that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
There's
definitely a reason why someone hasn't gone in and invested in that area yet. There's definitely a reason there.
Yeah, and then another cool building we saw, it used to be a factory where they made juice. So somebody bought that whole
Where
thing.
they made Jews.
Yeah, sure. And they bought that whole building and converted it into apartments. That was super cool because like the windows stamped from the floor all the way to the ceiling. And these were like these old windows, right? And then on a very top floor, they built a penthouse apartments with the outside area. And everything within a city is brick, like that red brick. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is made out of brick and or this type of buildings, right? When you go towards the city, but everything within the old town is all red brick, which looks really cool. I really like that red brick aesthetic, right? Um, other than that, it was pretty cool. Just to experience it. Now, here's the $1 million question: will I go back there? Yes. When will I go back there? God knows, right? So that's why I like.
So
I wouldn't.
basically, you're saying it's good, but it's not that good.
It's good, but it's not that good. I think if you're having a bachelor party there, it could be fun. It could be fun as hell because it's number one, it's not expensive, right? Good food, good drinks,
How much
cheap
was
steak.
this Airbnb like this day?
Bro, it was $150. It was a 2 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom.
Apartment, house.
It was an apartment on an 11th floor overlooking the entire city.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
$150 a night, man. It was nothing. It
Yeah.
was very, very cheap.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and again, as I said, will I go back there one day? Yes, but will I go back there in the near future? Probably not. Kind of like with Las Vegas, you know what I mean? It was definitely Ebor on steroids. But if I were to go back to something like that, I would go to Nashville. Nashville is a much cleaner version of the same craziness.
And you said you've been to Nashville before, right?
I have. I have been to Nashville, so it's a much cleaner version of that. Now, if you want the flavor, the culture, definitely you got to go to New Orleans because y'all know I don't really deal with white people too much, It's
Says the
usually
white guy.
yeah, I don't deal with white people too much. I usually find a more common ground with the Hispanic community or African American community more than anything. And the first day we were eating lunch, this African American lady was there, and she had a strong Louisiana accent. Sweetest lady out there. We like joking, cracking jokes. She brought a bunch of extra stuff for us. We of course we hooked her up well, fat. You know what I mean? We tipped her really well, but she was like loving us. And we came in, good energy, and it was just like a party. You know what I mean?
They
And
got
she's
like
like,
that Southern country hominess.
yeah. She was like, and then she goes, you know how old I am? I was like, how old? She goes, I'm 65 years old, and all I do is drink every night. That's what keeps me drink and party. That's what keeps me young. And you know, she was cool. She told us places to go. You know, it's just like it was just a party mode, like not necessarily like crazy party mode, but like a very very homey fun vibe. You know what I mean?
So it's like if you took all those Southern homie people from Georgia and Tennessee and stuff like that, and
Remove
put
the
them
fakeness.
but no, but then put them in a city life.
Yeah, but then you remove. You know how some of the Southern people will be like, "How y'all doing, Shug or whatever," and they'll give you that fake smile. You can tell it's like a fake smile. They're smiling because they have to. Like this was
Nah, I
like
feel like
genuine.
it's because
I
you
feel
live.
like
It's
Southern
because
people are when you go to those kind of states and it's like that Southern hospitality kind of thing. Because Florida's very different.
Yeah,
Florida's very different. But the other Southern states, when you get that Southern hospitality, it's like very different in the sense where I feel like either they're gonna be extremely nice or they're gonna be extremely rude.
yeah,
One or the other.
you
yeah.
get that
And
a lot because
I feel like one or the other is gonna be extremely genuine. I don't know if I've run into the fakeness too much.
you get that a lot because you live in Tampa, which is ranked top 3 cities that are the rudest in the U.S.
I can see that. There's too many New Yorkers out here.
See, but I saw this study and look at the list. How is New York not on this list?
I thought it
I don't know.
No, it's not. This is when I saw this list and I was like, this is
What is you
bullshit.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm walking here.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's no way. I've been to New York.
I mean,
There's
we've
no
been to
way.
Las Vegas. Was Las Vegas a rude city? Not really.
No.
That's what
no.
I'm trying to
It's
say.
the
So-
people that go there, I think, that make it.
Yeah,
What does it say? New Orleans probably is the age for one. It's 305 years old. On top has the tendency to flood. The zoning. Well, it's not only that. You know, there was a lot of corruption. And one person, I think the mayor went to jail for this. He's still in jail for basically what he was doing. He was siphoning government money and giving his son the construction deals, and the son was cutting corners and building the city wall basically to prevent the water from coming in, right? So there was a lot of corruption issues there, and he ended up going to jail. So but the to me, that southern hospitality, like the best way I can describe it is like, you know, when we're having, let's say, a get together here and someone new comes in, everyone is really welcoming. They want to know about you. They're actually having a genuine conversation with you. It's not fake, like that type of a vibe, but just with complete fucking strangers that don't know you from, you know, from your ass or your head, right? Like,
You know what's weird? I was talking to Benke about this, Andre Benke, the MMA coach that we're gonna have in Largo, right? He was telling me that one thing that he likes about the United States, he says that in no other country that he's been to, people, when you walk by someone on the street randomly, and let's say for whatever reason you make random eye contact, right? He says in the U.S. most people go, "Hey, well, how you doing?"
yeah,
And even if it's just a quick, "Hey, how you doing?" They keep
Yeah.
walking. It says in other countries they don't do
yeah,
that.
they don't do that. Yeah,
Right? He says in Brazil we don't do that.
Mhm.
Right? If someone does that into Brazil, you very like why do you want to know how I'm doing? Like who are you?
Yeah.
Kind of like very hesitant to be communicate with strangers.
yeah,
Which I found that weird that in the U.S. people are like that, and that I've noticed now that I grew up in the U.S. with that culture, going back to places like my country, right? I wouldn't necessarily say my country is one way or the other, but you experience the other side as well in the sense where you say hi to someone, they're like, "What the fuck you mean hi?" Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know you.
I don't know.
I have a
Exactly.
theory.
Right, and I've been to countries like that, and now I realize why I've gotten so many weird kind of awkward responses to that. Oh, how you doing? Was because that's an American thing a lot of times.
Yep.
I have a theory as to why that is.
Why?
I think it's because the countries that don't do it is because they've been colonized before. So it's like when they get to their land, "Hey, how you doing? We're taking your land."
How you doing?
So they feel sketched out whenever you ask them how you doing.
So
The U.S. never had that issue. Like, we're
Another-
already here.
another thing, if you get a girl and she wants a girls trip to New Orleans, or she wants her bachelorette party in New Orleans, she ain't your girl no more. I can tell
Okay.
you that for a fact. And it was the experience that I saw. There were a lot of bachelorette parties, a lot of girls parties, and these girls were hoeing, like straight up hoeing, to the point where like girl is talking to the guy that they clearly came together. Guy goes back, like they start walking away. She turns around, looks at the security guard, says, "I'll be right back." Lo and behold, 30 minutes later, she's back grinding on a security guard, making out with him.
Justin, maybe we do that for the next trip.
Yeah,
Next year
so
vacation, we go to New Orleans.
yeah, New
That'll be
Orleans is fun. New Orleans is fun. If you've never been, you need to go and visit. You have to go and visit.
And would you say to just drive or fly?
Drive.
Drive.
Especially if you got a big crew with you, drive. Because you can fly. The tickets are about $100 from here nonstop. It's about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So it could be
That might be worth it in that sense.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's a less than a 10-hour drive, isn't it?
It's 10 hours 30 minutes. It's gonna
10
be
hours,
more
30
than
minutes.
yeah.
Okay. So it's still not that bad of a drive at the end of the day.
It's gonna cost you about
And
$100 in gas.
I think that it's just worth it to take your own car at that point, to have your own
Yeah,
car there.
that's it. Because once you get there, you're gonna need to rent a car, right? Because you're not
Or
gonna
Uber and use the tram and be kind of a little bit limited on
Correct.
how you can travel.
correct. I say drive, especially if you got 4 people with you. 2 people fly, 3 you can 4 people definitely drive, right? 3 people, even though we had great conversation in the car, laughing throughout the way, joking around, talking shit to each other, right? Definitely drive. But what is the comment saying?
I want to go now because I know you're a good judge of food, right? Like your judgment on
Yeah,
food,
I'm a
I
fat
can
kid. I know
trust.
what's good food. You know what I mean?
So I want to go just because I want to try the food now, and I would like to see the architecture. Now that I started taking pictures, I'd like to go take pictures there. That shit looks nice. Shit looks like it'd
Yeah.
be a good place to take some
Andro's
pictures.
going to Oregon, and I mean, the best thing that you can do out there is just take pictures. What the
That's
fuck
it.
are you gonna do out there? Nothing.
Well, no, Oregon has stuff to do. Oregon has, especially like if you go to the capital. The
he's,
stuff
he's
that's
going. He's going
outside,
for a
no.
very specific reason, though.
Oh yeah, then
He's
it's
going
taking
for a
pictures.
wedding, so it doesn't really make much sense to do anything else.
Yeah, no, you're taking pictures in Oregon in that case. But everywhere there in New Orleans you went, there was a picturesque moment. Everywhere you went,
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm saying. I can
it's
see
just
that.
the way city is built.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it looks
You know?
nice in that sense. At least what you showed me. I'm sure, like you're saying, there's gonna be those abandoned spots or whatever. But
Well, even the abandoned spots, you can take your pictures of the abandoned spots. It's just like you can make it look cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I would definitely suggest going. You have to go there, like especially if somebody's having a bachelor party or having a birthday. Oh, and another thing, do it on your birthday because it's very customary there to walk around. If it's your birthday, you walk around with $1 clipped to your shirt, and every passing person will give you $1. It's like their way of saying, "Here, I'm buying you a drink." So throughout the night, you just collect a bunch of dollars, and then you can just basically drink.
dirty ass dollars you're gonna have at the end of the day.
Hey, listen,
Money, hey.
you're walking on Bourbon Street. If you didn't catch something just by walking on Bourbon Street, I don't think the dollars are gonna matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, like even the bathrooms, like you walk into these bathrooms, they're just so not traditional. Every single space they have is not traditional. There's a funny thing that happened to us. So we're in this bar. It's a dueling pianos bar. You can order a song. We're listening, having fun. Next thing I know, Jenna jumps like. Ah. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, look at that cockroach. So there was a cockroach that crawled on a bar, went to the mat, where they make the drinks. Clearly there's drippage and everything. Motherfucker just like went down, started like drinking the drinks. When he had enough of it, he kind of wobbled his ass back down the fucking bar. So that was his
He went to have a drink.
that was his road. Like he had that down packed. He knew exactly which road to take, the fastest route.
That cockroach is an alcoholic. So you're trying to
Yeah, bro. And it was our palmetto bugs. Those are one of the bigger
Yeah,
ones,
the
right?
big bugs.
So it was funny as shit. And then it wasn't just remember in Vegas when we went to that bar, it was like huge in Mexican corrido music.
I don't remember. We stopped in a few different places.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
monkey
remember.
bar, brass monkey, or whatever the name was,
Oh,
on
no,
the
I don't
end of
remember.
what was the street that had the Golden Nugget on, the covered street.
I'm not sure, bro.
Anyway, so they
It was
mixed
the
that
old
in.
strip. I know you're
Yeah.
talking about what.
Yeah, there was a big Mexican community there for sure. Like Dominican community as
Really?
well. Yeah, I clearly could pick out this person is Dominican, this person is Dominican, this person is Mexican, this person is Colombian. So
The
it was,
accent's very easy to tell.
yeah, without an accent, just by looks, you could tell.
Well, Puerto Rican and Dominicans very easy to confuse. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, yes, they are very easy to confuse. Some of them of course had the flag, so it's like
Yeah,
clear
that's easy.
Dominican. Yeah, but then
Or they're walking around playing dembo. That's easy.
yeah,
That's easy.
or then
to point
dembo
out.
music would come out.
What's the
and they'll start
difference
dancing.
between a Puerto Rican and a Dominican? Which flag they're wearing?
No, I mean-
They're always repping.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
yeah. So it was cool. Definitely. I would suggest as a young guy, young girl, as a group, you need to go there, and it's very safe. with all that craziness, is extremely safe. There are
Really?
cops everywhere.
Okay.
Cops everywhere. Because they can go on the streets with the big ambulances, they had like designated ATVs that were outfitted with where they can put the beds
They
on.
don't have they don't have horses with like.
They do. And the horses are there just lined up.
Yeah, but do they not use them as ambulances? You put a carriage in the back and like yeah, like the old ways, man. I mean, keep it old style.
I think they replaced that with the ATVs, but they had cops that were on horses. They had cops that are on bikes, constantly going around. Then they had the horse and buggy carriages, right, for a carriage ride, and there were mules, not horses. But the cops had horses, and these horses were very well fed. You can tell, like, very glistening hair and skin, super pretty looking horses.
I remember we went to DR, and you could tell we went on that horse ride. All them kids who had never seen a horse in a third world country.
Yeah.
Looking at those horses, said, "God damn, them motherfucking skinny."
Yeah.
There was so many horses there. I just felt so bad for it,
Yeah,
bro.
because they're
I
skinny.
felt so- yeah.
Nah, these horses were well fed. I mean, I'm talking about, it wasn't just a regular horse. These motherfuckers were tall as shit and big. Like, they were, you could tell it's like breed horses, right?
Yeah.
And they're trained specifically for, for.
I wonder how they train a horse like that to
carrots.
like
He said carrot,
No, I mean-
carrots and apples.
like what is the
Let's use
process of
Minecraft
them
logic.
training the horse to like not have that reflex of like wanting to kick something behind it? Because I mean, you can have drunk people walking all around,
Yeah,
right? And if
no,
you think-
they were like, but they'll run, like, if it's a fight, they'll run the horses directly into the fight to break up the crowd. Like, the horse goes in chest first.
trampling people.
Yeah, trampling.
I wonder how
straight
many
up.
times a horse has killed someone.
I don't know, but they'll just bump into people
on
with
it.
the horses. Yeah.
Because I want to know that
Yeah.
too.
It's a number one thing is extremely safe. So you don't have to worry about.
Just the horse, huh?
No, you don't have to worry about your girl getting her ass grabbed or anything like that, because
Okay.
they don't have to do that. They don't have to like grab your girl's ass to get her attention. Everyone there is already on a time that, hey, we're here just to like do whatever, right? So they're very open to conversation and stuff like that. So you don't just attract attention. Oh, so
There's a lot about horses dying, but not people.
Yeah, so funny thing, the California girls, right? So one day Maurice and I, dropped them off, whatever, had to pee or whatever, and then parked the car, and then we had to come back. As we were coming back, I was like, bro, let's go to the penthouse. We haven't been yet. So we
Okay.
go up to the penthouse, looks cool, pictures, right? So it's all taking time. So as we going down, Mauricio goes, bro, watch the reaction. As we walk in, he's like, oh man, those California girls were really cool, huh? They wanted to have a hang out with us, and why don't we go meet up with them tonight? He was like being loud about this. And then the next day, his girl was like, so where were you gallivanting around with them California girls? And then
He's trying to get in trouble on
Yeah,
purpose.
that
He's
night-
digging a hole he can't get out of. That's what he was doing.
No, she's super cool. She knew we were joking. So that, like, it was fun. Definitely go 100%. Don't hesitate. Like, if you're planning a trip, that's the trip. That should be your next trip, because number one, it's not very expensive. Number two, it's fun. It's fun as hell. There's shit to do. Number three, because there's so much shit to do, we would come back like to change and shower. Well, that would take like hour and a half, right? So you would rest a little bit between, lunch, walking around, and dinner.
That's because y'all are old.
Well, nah, bro, you walk a lot there. I mean, you're talking about Jenna was tracking. I think we walked on average of 8 miles a day.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, you walk around a lot. Like, just going down, up and down the little streets, because there's just so much to see and so much to do. Going just up and down the streets, it racks up. Like, you rack up miles quickly, very quickly. And everything is like, you're looking at stuff. You're not even realizing that you're getting tired, because everything is new. Everything is pretty. Like, they had these antique stores that were selling like chess sets that were like $5,000-$6,000, like foosball tables that were $26,000-$29,000. These gigantic lions made of brass and things like that. Like the shit that you see downtown St. Pete when you walk on Beach Drive, those little monkeys and a alligator, like that's what they were selling. Things like that. So you walk in a store, like you could end up spending like an hour just looking around at the cool shit that they're selling, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, the experience is good. Definitely go.
Well,
10 out of 10
we've
suggest.
gotten to our time. I wanted to show you something real quick. We can do
Go
this. Miggy, look up the new Tissot PRX Carbon. This is the
No.
watch.
No.
This is the new
Come
watch.
on, really? You're gonna get the same damn thing?
It's forged carbon.
You're gonna get the same damn thing?
Let's see. Yeah, I am. What other carbon watch can you get at that price point?
Well, why would you want a carbon watch to begin with?
Because I want a light carbon watch. Because I'm a car guy and carbon fiber is my shit, and I'm a watch guy, so why not?
Get the Omega. Get the Swatch. Swatch Omega plastic ones. Don't matter. I'm just telling you.
Did you just try and compare forged carbon to a plastic watch?
Yeah, it's gonna be light.
It's gonna be light.
I
I wanted
don't
to show you that.
I
thought
never
it was pretty
liked
cool.
carbon.
I
Yeah,
saw
it
that
does
they
look
came
cool.
out.
It's all black.
They came out with those. They came out with a new one that has like a gradient dial to it, like a blue to purple. Go to
Okay.
Tissot's website. They have all of them there.
So they're going after Audemars Piguet because Audemars came out with something like that recently.
Yeah, look at this.
Audemars just
Go to their
recently
main
came out.
page. Just click Tissot on the top, and then it should show you. Yeah, hit discover, and then hit buy on the top
There
right.
you go.
And scroll. You can see all the new ones here.
Yeah.
So they've got these new
Yeah.
gradient dials. They did this thing. I don't know, Miggy, if you know what anime or game or cartoon that's from, Grenadizer. I've never heard of that before. That's a new thing. It's got a pretty cool box that it comes with. It comes with like this helmet box. You know what this is from?
GhettoRig. No, that's way before my time.
Yeah.
That's 1975.
Oh shit. Yeah,
It
well, they
looks
came
cool.
out
The
with that.
carbon looks cool. Pull up the carbon again.
Go up.
I like the strap on it a lot, actually. Yeah, it
Assuming they're
looks cool.
using
I'm
the
giving
same
you shit.
movement.
It looks cool. It's
Yeah,
a
I
very
wanna get one.
casual watch,
I
though.
want to get one. Yeah, that's the one thing that not that I dislike about the PRX, my PRX, but I wish I could wear it more. I feel like it just looks a little not dressy, but I don't feel as confident wearing it with shorts and just going to work like
Oh, yeah,
doing
no, you
random
can,
shit,
yeah.
you know. So with this, I would feel more. It's more of a dailyable watch, and it's gonna be real light, feel good on the wrist.
I know, it looks good.
It's gonna be strong as shit.
Well, not... I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews about carbon.
Well, if done incorrectly, right? Because you have dry, you have wet, and then you also with this is forged carbon, so it's done a little bit different than just carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber, right? It's not like that shit you put on a car, right? It's completely different. I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty fucking strong. I don't know. I want to get it. I think that would be my next watch.
But $1,000, man, that's a lot for that watch.
Not really when you're talking about a carbon case on a watch with Swiss movement.
Yeah, but it is a
It's only a
TPU strap.
couple-
It's a TPU strap, though. You know.
I mean, yeah, it's coming on a rubber strap, but you have to think about it. What's the normal price point of this watch? $700-800 anyways.
Mhm.
Only a couple $100 more, and you're getting a carbon case, which I would assume is would have been way more. I thought they were gonna put this up with like the gold ones that they have, like the actual 18 karat gold bezel ones that are like 2,000 that they have. I thought they were gonna put this up there,
I see what you're saying.
but no, less than $1,000. I don't
It
think
looks
you
good.
can get. Show me a watch that has less than $1,000,
I would like
Forged
this in
carbon.
white. I would
Forged
like this
carbon.
in white.
and then with Swiss movement. Show me. I don't think you're gonna find it for less than $1,000.
No, you're not. But what I'm saying is I would like this in white. I think white would be a little more.
I think they could do it in white.
Yeah.
They could definitely
They'll
do
probably
it in
come
white.
up with colors in years.
I don't think so. With the carbon stuff, I don't think they'll do colors, but they definitely are doing colors with the dials now with that gradient one. Can you go look at one of the gradient ones? They look like the music thing to me because of the grid style.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly, but it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know. Yeah, these are the 18 karat gold bezel ones that they have that are a little more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, I didn't take my nice watch there. I had my regular watch on, just in
What
case.
regular watch? What do you mean?
The Tudor.
Tudor.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
it's a
right.
good watch. It's a good looking watch.
Yeah, I wanted to show that to Jay because I just had mentioned to him, oh, I know what my next watch is earlier. And he's like, what is it? And I was like, oh, I'll show you on the pod. Pretty cool watch. All right, we can close out there. It's already 10:30, so we started a little late, guys. So that's the reason for cutting a little short. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us today. It's a cool stories from Jay in New Orleans. Check out our official sponsors, UFC Gym Largo and Pinellas Park. Links in the description to both of those things. There should be. And then also Vitality Wellness Center. Go check those things out, guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for joining us.